Physics with James.
Hello guys, let's talk about magnetic fields around a wire. When a current flows through a conducting wire, the magnetic field is usually produced around the wire. No current, no magnetic field. Once there's current in the wire, then the magnetic fields will come into play. What's a conducting wire, by the way? It's just a wire that has current flowing through it, nothing more than that. And then once the current flows through the wire, the next thing we'll have to determine is the direction and the shape of the magnetic field, or the magnetic field lines, as the case may be. And how do we get that? We get that by investigating using plotting compasses. You place a compass near the wire, and then the compass will point in the direction of the magnetic field. Now, in the case where you've got no compass to plot the lines, how do you go about that? You use the right hand thumb rule. In this case, you point your thumb in the direction of the current, and then you wrap your hands, all the fingers, around the wire. Your thumb is pointing in the direction of the current, and then your hand, your other fingers, they're pointing, or they're showing you the direction of the magnetic field. And then if you reverse the current, that means your thumb is pointing downwards, just like the second image you have here, and you wrap your fingers like this. So your fingers will give you the direction of the magnetic field, and then that's how the right hand rule is usually applied. And the magnetic field is not just one single line, it's made up of concentric circles. Now, if the concentric circles are close to each other, it means the magnetic field lines, or the magnetic field strength, is really strong. And if the concentric circles, if they're far apart, means the magnetic field is weak. Now, the magnetic field we're talking about here has no poles. All right, it's strongest very, very close to the wire, and then as you move further apart, as you increase the distance, the magnetic field strength will get weak and weak and weak. All right, this is an electromagnet in a way. So if there's no current in the wire, there's no magnetic field. Switch off the current and the magnetic field is gone. Switch on the current, then that wire will have a magnetic field. Now, a very, very important factor or relationship we need to study here is the relationship of the current to the magnetic field. The higher the current, the higher the magnetic field. It's a direct relationship, or you can say the current is directly proportional to the strength of the magnetic field. So let's say you're passing a current of 1 amps, the magnetic field lines will be relatively far apart. And then you increase the current to maybe 10 amps, the magnetic field lines will come close, or really close to each other, and that will show you that the magnetic field strength has increased. What you have on the screen here, the right and left, is just showing you the top view of what we've got once you're passing a current in a conducting wire. If the current is flowing out of the plane, that's towards you, you just do the right hand thumb rule, and then you point it towards you. You get the direction of the current, and then your other fingers will give you the direction of the magnetic field. So the magnetic field here is anti-clockwise. All right. And then the second one, when you've got the current flowing into the plane, you can see that there's a cross there, into the plane, you do the right hand thumb rule, you point it out away from you. That shows, so your thumb will show you the direction of the current, and then when you wrap your fingers like this, that will give you the direction of the magnetic field. And you can see it on the screen, that's anti-clockwise. So there's no need for you to memorize, okay, how do I do it, how do I do that? No, there's no need. If you've got a question, all you have to do is just to do the right hand thumb rule. If it's going to the plane, just do that, follow the direction, and you will get your answer.